I never in a million years could have predicted such a switch. Like even Steve Kerr. Steve won so much with the Warriors, but no one ever gave him that much credit. No one viewed like he deserved some credit, but no one viewed like he was the linchpin. So when people get mad at him, he was never like the made man in the mob like Popovich would have been with San Antonio, right? Or Phil with the Bulls. Kyle felt like he was the guy. Like he was a different version of Harbaugh. Like, I never want to lose this guy. I want this guy to be my fucking coach. I want to go win some games. And now it feels like everyone goes, did I put my stock in the wrong guy in a 4-week span, guy? And that's the most powerful part about football is that you only play once a week. And when you lose a couple games, it's a big deal. When you lose 4 straight games with the expectations and really and then we start like, even a random fan will be like, how many games has he actually won in his career? You start looking at you're like, what the fuck am I even thinking? You start questioning yourself.
I know. The one thing with him is you get it a lot more with coaches like Hart. I mean, I guess Jim involved himself in the offense, but guys who aren't play callers, you get that a lot.
What happened? It happened to John and Tomlin when they've missed the playoffs, right? They've taken heat.
Right. But I mean, what is the criticism? Is like, have they lost the team? Because that's that person's pitch is motivation.
That's why Ed Ogeron lost the job, right? It didn't feel like he was leading the group anymore.
Yeah, he had other things.
Yeah. They made up some stories about
my point is like with
she wasn't pregnant.
My point is with Kyle, it's like I've watched the games for years and I've gone, this guy's got it. Now that's been my, like this guy has got it. Now you don't just get to do the same thing forever, right? There are adjustments.
But a lot of got it's were based on losses too. Right, obviously, you just look at the records.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard.
The offense
shouldn't have been that close. Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he was wide open. How did he scheme him? But that's the thing. So, this season, it's like, what is going on?
It's not just
where the fuck are the open guys?
It's not just about the wins and losses. It's like, why isn't Ayuk running wide open? You know what I looked up earlier? I did on my phone because my power was out. I think the Niners are 22nd in yak yards this year, which is like their thing, right? The Niners are 23rd actually in yards after catch this year.
Well, they ain't the Yak Bros anymore.
No. Now, part of that, Kittle's not there.
Ayuk doesn't exist.
Ayuk, yeah.
That might just be Debo by himself is 22nd, right? Against the entire league.
Right.
It feels like he's
23rd.
Doesn't it feel like he's the majority of their yak yards?
Bears are dead last, by the way.
But to me, it's not. The yak yards are. The coach saying
that's been part of the design of their offense is you get a guy in space and then there are yards after the catch. That's part of getting a guy into space.
Yeah, and there were always 3 or 4 times a game, beside like his first drive against the Colts, when a Niner drive is going to work. And I would say the same thing for the Rams. I would say the same thing for Stefanski. I don't think you can really say it for the Packers because like they can go 5 wide. Obviously, they're missing like 7 wide receivers tonight, but normally, right? Like Aaron can be in the shotgun 4 or 5 wide. The Niners don't. It's a little shocking. The Niners don't even have 4 wide receivers really to throw out there. But like the Packers have that because Rodgers feels comfortable. So we can go right down the field with that. A Niners drive, it's you and I could get on a whiteboard and kind of scheme what it kind of looks like. A naked bootleg, a run left, a run right. We got a whiteboard. It's pretty clear. It looked like that in Indy. And then he also has these other plays like, a screen to Kittle. An end around to Kittle. Fake handoff to another guy. He's not doing any of that shit. It feels, and Kawakami asked him this after the Indy game, do you feel like you're out of rhythm right now as a play caller? Yeah. It was just a direct, and he said yes.
Yeah.
Now, he might have just, I don't know if he's trying to like give in or whatever, but maybe he's just being truthful. Like, I can't get in a rhythm. How can you if you're not gaining any fucking yards?
Be like, agree. That's what it looks like, right?
It looks terrible.
There's a comment here I want to get back to. This is from Vimo. The fan base isn't made up of knuckle draggers. We understood what trading up meant for this great phrase. We understood what trading up for this team and this season meant. We're willing to endure losses and growing pains if we're letting Trey learn.
Could you define a knuckle dragger to me? Just a guy
dragging your knuckles, like a prehistoric, man, basically. And that's what that means.
Low energy loser.
Just like a dummy, just like a dummy,
yeah, but unintelligent guy.
Yeah, what's it called? A caveman.
Caveman.
Yeah. They were dragging their knuckles.
Yeah. I would argue it's pretty hard to survive in the caveman days. I mean, you got animals and shit coming after you.
It's true. You did mean more. I mean, they invented fire.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they deserve a little more credit. But
so the Niners' upcoming schedule is the Cardinals, So back to the original question here, which is how does Kyle?
But to me, I specifically look at those two games coming after this, right? Those two, to me, that's like their season either ends or goes after those two games.
Cardinals, Rams, yeah.
So it's like I can't expect Jimmy to beat either one of those two teams. I'm not saying Trey would either, but at least people would be like, okay, well, we're building on this.
Well, that's what would be funny, right? Is
Jimmy's going to lose these games. What the fuck?
That's the irony in all of this. What we're saying here is the way that Kyle would get some of that support back from the community, from the fan base, would be by playing close games and losing with a young quarterback, which is how we built up with Mullins and Beathard and all. We got something here, right? So you're saying,
but he's not going to get like Matt Nagy. If he goes, he's probably going to get fired, right?
Yeah, Kyle's not getting fired.
Kyle's not getting fired. So I get a lot of these texts from like people in the industry, like, is he worried about perception? Why would he care about perception? He has a fucking This is year 2 of a 6-year contract. I guess he makes $10 million. He already had a 6-year contract that he only made it 3 years for, and that was probably at 6 or 7. He was rich before that. Like, he's not. But is he? Sometimes I question, like, is he worried about things that I didn't think he was worried about? I don't know. Because some people go back to the start, and we'll get into the him jumping on the question about Wickersham's book. It all gets back to like, I get this a lot, and I'm sure you do, and I think people just, it's not the craziest theory. Like, was he forced into trade? Did he really want Mac? And did he not want to do this? And I go, that seems crazy, but it's like, I don't know. He's had a weird body language this year. He just has. And it might have just been simple as Lowe's quote, like,
not a good loser.
Well, just pressure. Not even that he's not a good loser. Like, he had the most pressure he's ever had in his career this year. Because even last year, like the COVID year, everything was so weird. Like, it was not the same. This year, it was. People were picking them to go to the Super Bowl. And it wasn't like, oh, that's just a sleeper team. It was like, yeah, I think the Niners were one of the best. They were the betting favorite to win the NFC West.
Which you and I both, you can check the tape. The video exists, said, nah, they shouldn't be.
But that goes back to Vegas. Like, they're unemotional. And it's just like.
It's the belief that people would bet on that.
True. But I mean, because for a reason, like they were viewed as good. So did he not handle pressure well? I think we're just doing a lot of judgments on him. That it's.
Yes, I think this team was overrated.
Well, yeah, but I'm just
easy
saying.
To say now. But again, he built the team, so.
Yeah, every player is his guy.
Yeah, so that's not a cop-out for him.
But it gets back to the quarterback situation, which is kind of the start of his offense. Now, he'd argue it's not as big as the quarterback, but he wouldn't because they just made a trade to get a quarterback.
I think
he understands.
I think it starts there.
Do you think there's any percent chance that one day the true stories about Mac Jones, Trey Lance comes out and we're like, whoa, that is kind of crazy. That he was influenced.
Well, if that's what happened, I think there's a chance the story comes out. I don't dismiss that story because I do think he did like Mac. Maybe he got talked into Trey to some degree. That's different than like, there's a difference between being talked into Trey and taking Trey when you didn't want him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Kyle, we're 3-man. This is okay, you're right. And the other thing I keep going back to, he said repeatedly, top 5 quarterback is what you need. Top 5 quarterback is what you need. We'll see, maybe Mac Jones, but the margin for error on Mac Jones becoming a top 5 quarterback.
What happens when he's flying home and Cousins throws 5 touchdowns against the Cowboys on
Cousins, who, by the way, I looked this one up today. Average air yards per attempt, Cousins is 0.1 yard behind Garoppolo. Maybe the Niners are more third and longs. I don't know. But
feels like when I watch Cousins, he definitely pushes the ball down.
Feels like he's throwing the ball down the field a ton. He's behind Jimmy in average air yards per attempt. They're basically the same.
Stats lie.
Yeah, sometimes they do. I mean, again, it could be as simple as the Niners are more third and longs and have to do stupid shit. I don't know. But I know what I see when I watch him. So, yeah, it's possible. I think it's easy when you're losing. There's so many – there's a lot of theories that get thrown. And I don't think just playing Trey Lance – gets Kyle out of it all. Look, Matt Nagy's playing Justin Fields, and it's not going well, and so it's not getting him out.
But he was coming in on the season. His team was not that good.
But I'm just saying, if he was playing Justin Fields, and it was like, you know what? It's clear they've got it figured out with this guy. They're not going to win enough games this year, but I think you could justify giving him another year if it felt like it was going well or headed the right direction.
Yeah.
As opposed to them watching it going, we're 1 year in with Justin. We got to get him somebody else. We got to get him Brian Daboll. But again, Herbert was really good as a rookie, and his coach got fired. So,
but those guys were all on different situations coming into the season in terms of contract and longevity and previous success.
Christopher said it's true. Christopher says you guys are putting too much shit on Kyle. Nobody could have predicted that Jimmy was going to suck this year. Kyle has always won with Jimmy as his quarterback. See, you're sitting right here. You can read some of these. Kyle has always won with Jimmy as his quarterback. Is shit this year.
It's pretty easy to throw comments up there. You just press a button.
Yeah, that's all I do. I mean, the intern. Shanahan, this is from Shanahan said you want somebody that can run like Lamar and throw like Drew Brees. Sounds like Trey Lance to me. Yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah, to me.
No, I mean, I understand the point, but
he ain't running like Lamar, and he's clearly not accurate like Drew Brees yet. Like this is what I say all the time, and I used to be king of this, and I still can be heat of the moment. You got to be very, like, if you are just going to have a thoughtful comparison to be like, Josh Allen. Like, well, we're watching Josh Allen. I've been watching football now 28 to 30 years. Like, I haven't seen that many Josh Allens.
You counting 6-year-old you?
No, I'm 37. So I'll go 28. Let's go like when I was 10. So what's that? 27 years?
No, I mean, there haven't been.
Like, they were good too. I mean, physically, like, we didn't get to
Jake Locker.
Yeah, he wasn't that tall though.
No, and he wasn't that fluid of an athlete, and
we didn't get to witness, like, to me, the bar was always like Marino Elway, right? In which by the time we came into our own at like 10, they were kind of coming down the home stretch.
Definitely. I mean, we saw less of Marino. I did.
Me too. But even the Elway we witnessed was old. Like, you go back to some of the 80s clips of him running around and the way people talked about him. Like, that's what, like, Herbert and Allen are. So when you do Herbert and Allen, like, those two guys have chances to be like all-time greats. Like, what is the next be the next Steph Curry? Like, there's been one Steph Curry.
Yeah. But Trey Young, that's good enough too. You don't have to be the next Steph Curry. You don't have to be the next
for
Josh
that
Allen.
comp. The Niners would die, and I mean, John Lynch would give up his left testicle for Trey Lance, especially when he's done making kids. I don't even know if I know my.
You can do it with one.
Yeah, you can.
Who were you about to out for having one testicle?
Well, he got injured in college and had to have it removed. It wasn't like he got it removed. He got stepped on, and it was like grapefruit. Had 4 kids after that, but. If Trey Lance to Steph Curry, if Josh Allen is Steph Curry, I'm not saying he's not, but you know what I mean. If Trey Young is that version of Trey Lance, what would they do to have Trey Young?
Yeah. What were we saying about Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes became Patrick Mahomes? If he could only be who?
Favre?
I don't know. I don't know what we were saying.
Well, we didn't know. He came out of nowhere.
Well, exactly. There was nobody. He didn't have to live up to that. He was just.
I think Lamar was like, could he be Michael Vick? And then like a year in, he's like, he's better.
Yeah. But I don't get, like, there is how good Josh Allen is has no bearing on how good Trey Lance is. There's not like just so much great quarterback play available in the atmosphere and Josh Allen.
But it does in the sense when you make a trade like that, you are compared, right? You are compared to like your contemporaries, and you do carry your draft spot, and you do carry like part of if Tua had been a 2nd round pick, it's not the Miami shit's not as weird, right? He was the 5th overall pick
for sure.
They traded 3 1s to get him, so it's just like this crazy pressure on him to be a star.
No question. I'm just saying, if you never watched, if I said, John, you are blacked out from watching Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to see their highlights.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good or bad they are.
You have no idea. For all you know, Josh Allen's throwing 500 interceptions or 500 touchdowns. You have no clue. You'll still know if Trey Lance is good enough when you watch
their talents are relevant to him.
Completely irrelevant. Now, it does matter who got drafted ahead of you, who got drafted behind you in terms of perception, whatever. He doesn't have to be the next Josh Allen. He could be, 10 degrees worse than
Josh he's lucky he doesn't have to play those guys because they're in a different conference.
It's true. And it's warmer.
You know, if you look around the conference, he's got some things going for him. Brady's 70. Rodgers is 38. Russell hates Seattle.
Peyton doesn't have a quarterback. Sean Payton.
He doesn't have I mean, it's like the sweet quarterbacks, Lamar, they're all in the AFC. Herbert.
Yeah, and then there's Stafford and Kyler in his division.
That sucks. You just got to hope Russell demands a trade, which kind of feels like Pete's last stand, doesn't it? Like, do you think Pete Carroll's the head coach 2022?
I did wonder if that job could open up.
I think it does. Because I think Russell goes a little Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like pulls his move. Now, I don't know, like, it's like, okay, Pete's gone. And it sounds great. It's what every fucking analytic guy on Twitter's wanted for 7 years, even though he's won 80% of his games. Okay, who's your hire?
Yeah, Brian Dable or whoever.
But what if Russell doesn't want him?
Yeah.
What if Russell wants some like obscure?
What if Russell wants John Gruden? We had some really good Monday Night Football meetings, man. This guy right here. Can I do Gruden anymore or no?
I was gonna say something, but I don't know if I can say it on publicly. I'll tell you offline. It was a great comment by. I talked to Romanowski today at the
Yeah,
gym.
you probably can't say it.
he had a couple good lines.
So, Rich says play Lance at quarterback, not running back. I mean, look. He might have to play some running back for a little bit. That's okay. I don't literally, but I just
Elijah
mean
Mitchell had 100 yards. Best draft pick since like Kittle. Honestly, he does look sweet. Like he looks good.
he looks exactly like he looked in college. Which
I
is
was in the
hard to do.
car before you came over. Lund said he heard Cosell say, I love doing that. Like this guy heard this guy say that he thought, what's the Bears running back's name?
Khalil Herbert.
He thought he was looked like a young Tiki Barber or something. I guess he's sweet.
Yeah, he's good. Where'd he come from?
I'd never heard of him. Feels like South Florida or something. UCF. Be my guess.
Got two Khalil, Kansas and Virginia Tech.
He's a transfer guy.
6th-round pick.
So he's a 5th-year transfer. Do you see that? 4 years Kansas, and then
he went to Virginia Tech last year.
How many yards did he have last year?
1,100 yards.
So he had a good season.
Yeah.
What round was he taking in?
6th.
I love getting a good 6th-round running back. That feels like just that you can't make your money go any farther. That's Elijah Mitchell. You get a 6th-round running back that's your starter and rush for 100 yards a game. You're like, that is the perfect draft pick. That is everything we dream about.
the thing you can't say is like, because he'll be out of here in 3 years because he plays running back.
He'll never get a second contract, but damn it, we nailed it.
We love him right now. And boy, we're going to make him feel like he's at home.
The best worst case is like you use a 2nd or 3rd, but he's sweet, like a Kamara or Dalvin. You're like, this is awesome, but we know he's going to hold out by year 3, and we got to give him like $45 million.
So we got to draft another 6th-round running
But
back.
I was just kept peeking up at the television. I know he didn't have a great stat line. You're like, yeah, Alvin's pretty sweet. Like I would take Alvin Kamara just on my squad. Now, do I love paying him $18 million a year or whatever? You know,
I did watch that game the other night thinking like,
is he the best player on the field?
yeah, is he getting killed on a team that's like, is he just having a Khalil Mack like season?
Well, they're 4-2.
But I mean, he should be like playing in conference championship games.
Yeah, like you gave him to Brady.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Brady had him? Brady, like
thank God Edgerrin James played with Peyton Manning on the Colts.
And then he went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play with Kurt Warner.
Like, what if you put Emmitt Smith on the Houston Texans?
It would suck.
Yeah.